Well, thanks for clicking on the Weekend Sailing Weather Outlook. I'm meteorologist Matt Sanders, and let's take our week look ahead at the expected conditions for this upcoming weekend. Just be sure to check out the latest forecasts and advisories from the National Weather Service before heading out on the water. Well, overall, it's going to be a good weekend for sailing. Of course, at this time of year, that means bundling up in many areas. Though on the East Coast, from New England through the Carolinas, it's going to be much warmer than of late. And you can see here on Saturday that winds will finally be easing to a more manageable strength after several days of very strong winds as the strong ocean storm finally moves out into the Atlantic. Fortunately, it's not going to be as nice in the Great Lakes, where center of low pressure will be causing rain and fresh gusty winds. But on the west coast, we'll see wet weather in the Pacific Northwest, nicer conditions along the California coast, along with light winds near shore and stronger breezes further offshore. But let's focus in on Florida and the Gulf Coast. A lot of snowbirds are, of course, heading at this time of year. Maybe you want to take the boat out for that first sail of the season, and it's going to be a great weekend for that, with light moderate winds generally from the northeast along the Florida coastline, becoming more easterly in the Gulf. And you can see the best winds are likely to be from the Treasure Coast of Florida down through Miami and along the Keys. We'll move ahead to Sunday. We can see similar weather map. Winds will become even lighter along much of the East Coast, along with continued mild weather for this time of year, ahead of a cold front that will be associated with a low that continues to be moving through the Great Lakes, so expect unsettled weather and gusty winds there. But out in the Pacific Northwest, conditions will start to dry out, along with mostly light winds right along the coastline down through California. Looking again at the Florida region, high pressure will remain in place, so the weather will stay really nice, though watch out for those typical afternoon showers. The wind will be lighter than on Saturday, but there should still be good sailing conditions in the waters off of South Florida and also along the north central Gulf of Mexico coastline. So generally a good weekend for sailing in many areas with no major concerns for adverse conditions at this time. And remember, you can always check out the latest sailing conditions and forecasts for your area by heading over to ussailing.org, clicking on the My Weather section in My US Sailing. So that's Weekend Weather Outlook. I'm meteorologist Matt Sanders, and as always, have a great weekend.